Hello, friends. In our JSP programming session, uh, last time we saw that JSP programming is used for website and web product development, and it is uh, a Java platform, and it needs some technologies which are above what a Java programming requires. Like simple Java programming requires uh, a Java compiler, a Java virtual machine, and you can do programming in plain Java. And that Java programs can be run on any operating system, but the limitation of that programming is that it cannot be taken over the internet. And most programming nowadays involves writing programs for the internet, the web-based software products, because most people use internet today to do a lot of things. So for that reason, the Java community developed a language which is known as Java Server Pages, and all kinds of web-based software products can be developed using JSP. So in Eclipse today, let me show you some small things to get you started to have some experience what JSP programming is all about. So what you need to do is that first of all in Eclipse, you go here and create a new dynamic web project. Okay, and when you create dynamic web project, then you need to give project name. Okay, and then you need to define some extra things like if you have some libraries which you want to include in your project, so you can add them. If not, you can leave it. And then you need to generate web.xml. Now web.xml uh, is a configuration file, and it contains information like the welcome page, what should be the default page for your website, so that whenever somebody goes to your website without giving the web page name, so the this default page gets loaded in the browser of the user. So that information you need to provide here in the web.xml. Generally, for in the default is I will show you the defaults, and so and then you finish. So you will have. Let me cancel it because I have already created some project, and let me show you what web.xml is all about. It shows you if any modules will be there, and so that they can be attached. Then what language is being used. So basically it is the Java from Sun, and then some project name, then what is the welcome page. So you can provide a list of welcome pages over here. So generally it is index.html, index.jsp, something like that. But you can have your own name, and when it is there, then anybody going to your website will be directed to this default page. Okay, so it is important. The other things you can do is if you have some servlets, so you can give them path of the servlet. Okay, so I have created this project test one. Okay, And here I have defined this web.xml. So in my web.xml file, I have defined the my welcome file. So I have just put test.jsp because we will be writing creating a file test.jsp. So whenever somebody reaches to my website without giving the file name, they will see this test.jsp. Okay, and since the JSP programming involves developing a website application. That means your application will be running against some application server. So in case of Java, because we are using JSP, the application server could be Tomcat, JBoss, WebSphere, or any Java compliant application server. So it contains your Java virtual machine, and it contains the parser which will parse your JSP file and convert, and then it will interpret, and then it will convert your JSP into a servlet, and then it will be it will be converted, all your content will be converted into HTML file by the container or the application server. So your program actually will be running on any of these Java application servers like Tomcat or WebSphere, whichever uh, you have made your application server. In my case, it is Tomcat, so it is built-in, so it shows the status. So currently it is stopped. You need to start, and then you need to run your project, and inside your project there will be your JSP files. Okay, so let us go to create a JSP file. So what you can do is you click here in web content, and then you go here new JSP file, and it will ask you to give the name of the file. Okay, so this much you can do, and then it will create your file. Okay, and it will create your Scatterlearn code so that you can it will provide us some tags like HTML tags, and it will also provide this command like the page language is Java. So all these things will be done. Okay, so I have this test.jsp, and what I have done is I will be writing some code, and this code will be running on your container. In my case, it is Tomcat. So what I have done is I have created a variable. So creating variables and creating programs are very similar to what you do in Java programming. The only thing is that they are inside the HTML page. So you see these HTML tags. Okay, and in the design section also you can see the design. Whatever you create in your HTML page, you will see in design. Or from design, if you put something in the design, it will be coming that HTML tags will be coming in the text portion, in the text area. Okay, so I have defined a variable here, but before defining you need to provide this uh, a close open bracket and then percentage sign. This ensures that when your page loads, so this part of the text will be sent to the container, and it will parse whatever you have defined over here, and it will run. So uh, you need to wherever the code, your code has to run on the server or the container, you need to provide this tag. Okay, percentage sign, bracket, and percentage less than, and then you need to close. So here I have written something. I am checking if uh, this variable which I have created, the day, integer type, if it is equal to 1 or equal to 7, then I'm saying it is a weekend. Okay, so I have another thing here, out.print, and this method, out.print, actually it can work only when you include the library which has this method. So I need to include that in on this page. So it is done by this command, this at the rate percentage bracket percentage sign at the rate page, and then you need to import that package. So the package name is java.io, and then I am putting again a dot and then putting asterisk sign, means you need to import everything which is there inside this java.io package. So inside this package, these methods are defined. So you can use. Otherwise, if you do not use, uh, do not import, then these methods will not work because these methods are defined inside this package. So what I am doing, if uh, my value is 1 or 7, I want to print today is weekend. Okay, and if not, else I want to print today is not weekend. Okay, and then I close everything. I close the body part of the HTML and then HTML itself. Okay, so once you write your code on a JSP page, then how to run it? So you need to go to the project. Okay, you need to read. You cannot run the page itself. You need to run the project, because that project is inside your only the project is inside your container, and only you can run the project. So here you can go run as, and then you want to run it on the server. You see here, run on server. The other option is Java applet. If you are not running on the server, the other part is running it as a applet, means running on the user browser. And we have seen this Java application when we were learning Java programming. Okay, so we need to run on server, not it is not a applet. Okay, applet is like it runs on the browser, not on the application server. So you click run on server, and inside your application, inside your application server, you need to choose which project you want to run. So I have this test one I want to run, and then I finish. So you can see here the status. It is my application server is starting. It will start and then it will run. Okay, so now it will run, and it is showing here there is a built-in small browser in Eclipse, and you can see here. Or you can, what you can do, you can also run it on any browser which you have installed on your computer, like I have a Mozilla Firefox. Okay, so I will be running. It is my the location of my application server is localhost, and then colon 8081. The port name is 8081, and this test one is my uh, project, and the page is test.jsp. Since it is a default, this test.jsp is default, so you may not need to write, or if you want, you can also write test.jsp. Okay, and then you run. So it runs and it is printing here, right? If we change our code here, say this is a weekend, say if I put 1, okay, so it will print today is weekend, right? Save it and just refresh, or so now it is printing today is weekend. Okay, the same thing, you go over here in Mozilla Firefox and refresh. It will print today is weekend. Okay, so 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 you need to be you need to be sure that you provide the right address of your web page. Otherwise, if you are writing wrong address, then it will give you error in the browser. The same program which we saw here, uh, by importing this package, you can change it to to write some HTML code instead of inside your JSP code. Okay, so here I have this JSP code, and then I am coming out of JSP code and then writing this. Again, I am providing some JSP code, this command, else command, and then coming out and then printing. It will also work, but this time this will be, uh, you can say, uh, not come means this purely HTML. So this part, up to this part, it will not be sent to the application server. Okay, because they are not part of JSP. They will just print, but depending on the logic, it will print. Okay, so this is how the syntax of JSP is all about, and we will be learning a lot of the syntax of JSP, JSP commands, JSP directives, and lot other things. Uh, Already I have shown you this directive, this include, how to import. So we will be learning a lot about these, and some more about programming in JSP. So thanks for your time, and bye.